Let me tell you about ProHealthConnect.com. It's transforming healthcare payments, providing retailers a seamless process for over-the-counter and healthy benefit programs. By connecting retailers, health plans, and payment processors, ProHealth Connect creates one powerful, unified network. They empower independent grocers and pharmacies to accept health benefit cards without changing how they do business. With over 10,000 locations nationwide, helping more than 1.3 million people access the care and nutrition they need. Go to ProHealthConnect.com.
Blaine Holt, the United States Air Force retired general who knew exactly when this war would start in Iran, and I think he's going to be able to tell us when it's going to be over. Also, he's got a great sense of the domestic political scene. General Holt, welcome back. How do you feel about last night?
Oh, amazing. Just amazing. We are really in historic times, Greg. We're watching all this play out. And everybody thinks that, at least the mainstream is trying to purport this as the president's strategy is failing and falling apart. And I'm like, the man is driving into victory lane and you're calling it a loss. I cannot believe this, but it is part and parcel for American politics. We are definitely on our way to getting to the final chapter and the close of what will be the Iran chapter in this. But this supports a much bigger strategy that the president is after. Now,
when I say amazing and last night, and you say, yeah, what part do you find the most amazing? What are you referring to? For me, quite frankly, it's the performance of Steve Hilton and Spencer Pratt and all of this doom and gloom about the midterms. And I know things are going to get tough with the runoff, but I mean that's major. That's huge.
It is huge because it's breaking a juggernaut that they thought they owned. California is literally falling apart, and worse than that, it's threatening our nation. And what I mean by that is you've got energy policy in California that is wanting to, their air board, which worships at the CCP and the cult of climate change, is wanting to take California's oil refineries from 7 left down to 1. And they're going to threaten our food supply, our jets, our gas for the western United States in doing so. And guys like Spencer Pratt, who went through this horrendous fire, Steve Hilton, a great leader in his own right, are standing up and they're calling this stuff out, that California's got to stop digging. And so while that was great, it feeds into this bigger place of the report card for the president, which is what I'm getting at with Iran, which is he's kicking butt. So if he wasn't kicking butt, America, then why the heck does Steve Hilton run the table in California and get into the swimsuit competition of a place where no Republican is supposed to ever be electable again?
I see a poll here from Marquette University. 2026 generic congressional ballot. Democrats get 46% of the vote, Republicans 45%. This is Marquette University. The sample took place between May 20th and May 26th. And this is being interpreted by the pros as a disaster poll for the Democrats. You know, given the headlines, given what they have tried to create as the mood in America, for those numbers to be split right down the middle is pretty amazing. Mm-hmm.
It's not only amazing, we know where these polls are. We know how they get kind of massaged and how things get asked, and they're all funny. So what I would really say is you can go ahead and tape another 5 to 10% on that for the Republican side of the House. Look, California's had it. I'm watching their business sector, entrepreneurial sector, the jobs, their economy, that they're destroying themselves in this zero carbon race that Gavin Newsom wants to take them down to. And I think that the Republicans are going to run the table, but I also think you're starting to look at what it's going to look like in the midterms. We've cleaned up elections. We've cleaned up some of this gerrymandering nonsense. And I'm looking down the barrel of victory in the Middle East and Iran, and we might even see the end of the Ukraine war by the fall. What does that look like if we're winning like that? I think we're looking at great outcomes from midterms right now.
You know, it reminds me a little bit of, what it felt like in America for us MAGA people in 2021 and 2022. That was a lonely time. And, President Trump was getting arrested and, everything was kind of crazy. And the January 6th, they would relentlessly. And it was like it was depressing a little bit. Our spirits, I got a little bit down from time to time, but I always knew we could win and we had to persevere. 2026 is like a mini 2021 to 2025 in a weird way.
It is. And here's the thing. You said the word persevere. We're patriots who love our country. We love our Constitution. We love our Bill of Rights, and we love freedom. And you're not going to get it with the Marxists and the globalists and the climatologists. You're not going to get it. And so you must persevere. You must understand there is no other way. And just think of where we would be if Comrade Kamala Harris had been the talking head in the Oval Office. What would wars look like right now? People have to remind themselves that gas was a lot higher 4 years ago under Joe Biden. And while we have the inconvenience of the higher gas prices right now, your grandchild will not be under the spire of nuclear weapons from an Armageddon group of psychopaths. We're on the right track, and we just got to stay this course, and we got to not quit.
Real quick, the latest, I guess we are trading missiles again with Iran. They hit the airport over there. The Kuwaiti airport. This is a little bit tit for tat. I guess you expect this. The ceasefire is still in effect, even though we're firing, which I kind of get that now. This is like minuscule, so it's not a deal breaker or anything like that. But tell us, what do the last 24 hours mean and what's going to happen now?
Yeah, it tells me that the IRGC is running out of military options, and the reason that is because they're firing on Kuwait. So they're taking a quick, easy target near them. They're not taking more complex targeting. That's one. Two, we are going to militarily end the IRGC, and what that's going to give way to is civilian leaders in Iran that are going to be reformed criminals, if you will, a lot like Delcy Rodriguez in Venezuela. But the Artesh, the actual real army of Iran, they got weapons, and they're going to share them with the resistance of Iran, and I think they'll take back their country. We're just not going to do it with 130,000 U.S. forces and being there for 20 years to get it done. I think you're seeing the beginning of the end in Iran, and watch the Pakistanis very carefully. The leader of the Pakistani military has been playing a very careful, behind-the-scenes diplomatic role, and I think you're going to see a lot of things come out of this, like evidence of wrongdoing, and that'll come back to roost here at home as we start to examine the accountability piece of what we've been going through for the past 18, 20 years. Can you give me a little bit more? Tell us more about that. Who? Yeah, so you have Pakistan that gets into possession of nuclear weapons technology, AQ Khan, and we're led to believe that they shared it with Iran. But then you've got a really weird thing happening with some wacky agreement that President Obama wants to do with the Iranians and will delay their weapons program by 10 years if we pay him a bunch of money. And then he gives them $1.8 billion in cash. Why? The answer is why. The question is why? Well, I think we're going to start finding out the whys. Just like we found out in Venezuela about a lot of wrongdoing that'll come to the light about cooked elections, stolen elections, money laundering, and all that stuff. Every place President Trump goes, he is collecting evidence out of crime scenes. And I think that you're going to find there's a lot of folks who would really want this all to go away and not happen. And that's why I think you see Europe fighting this back and saying nothing to see here. You're not going to do Iran. Oh, yes, we are. And then let's let the chips fall where they may on accountability of crooked politicians in our own country who need to face the music. You were military. I was military. I think that the PTSD thing has been totally over-diagnosed. It's been pushed. It's a crutch. It's kind of a scam. And I know some people don't like hearing that, but here's the scammer in chief, Graham Plattner, milking PTSD with a fake news reporter from the New York Times who's like, totally on board with the whole PTSD agenda. Listen to this, if you would, General. Let's see. That's cut 7, if you don't mind. Cut 7. I was also diagnosed with PTSD. And for me, I can remember exactly what happened and that caused the sort of cascade. What was it for you?
It was 2006, and it wasn't a specific moment. I'll just be, I think that's not actually true. Oh, man. I'm sorry. That's okay. Oh, wow. Wow. I think they're going to hook up. After that interview.
I think that's the name of the game with this Plattner guy. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm such a hero, but I'm having trouble with coping, and comfort me. What about the PTSD, if you would? And what about, and I know people go through things, but a little bit much here. And what do you think about the Maine situation?
Yeah, so this is an issue that has been hijacked. It's a very sensitive issue to we, the vets. And I think what I hate is watching the manipulation in the media about something that needs to be dealt with seriously. But I also can't stand that it's used in a variety of ways, in a variety of manipulative ways. The VA needs to offer better services to our vets. I'll just say that nakedly and be very pointed about that. We have hundreds of veterans organizations run by veterans that are doing amazing work with our best. And sometimes it's just a little thing and it just needs a little help. And where I, as an entrepreneur, take great offense is that I see tons of veterans that get overlooked for jobs that they're more than qualified for because there's some stigma out there that, oh, you were in Afghanistan, that must mean you have PTSD. So I think it's, and there's millions and millions of dollars in this cottage industry, and people are making out like bandits. And so I think manipulation, egregious corruption, a lack of the right efforts on the VA's part come together in a cocktail where the only ones holding the bag that don't get what they need are the actual people with real PTSD, and they need the help.
Wow. What a shame. What a shame. And how about that one? The stigma, right? Because it's been so kind of pushed, and it's a fake narrative. Well, General Holt, you're not fake. We so appreciate the truth from you. And give us a little pitch on that amazing company that you're launching.
So, look, it's a big week at Xeriant. Xeriant, Xeriant.com. We have our flagship product, the first of many to come to market. It's wall boards. They're fireproof. They're waterproof. They're getting certification tested right now in Atlanta this week. So it's our big final exam. We're doing a little bit of nail biting, but I'll tell you that we could take 3,000 Fahrenheit for an hour, and we are looking really good. So I'm excited, and thank you for bringing it up because, man, this is my passion. I love this company and this team.
Well, congratulations. It's really great to hear about your success. Keep it up. Keep us posted. Thank you, General Blaine Holt, and we'll be right back.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Sacco and Feliz, New York and New Jersey's premier attorneys at law. Their team brings decades of experience across a wide range of practice areas. Whatever life brings, they're your legal team. From everyday matters to complex cases, they've got you covered with the experience you need and the results you want. Because when life gets complicated, they make it simple. SaccoFeliz.com. SACCOFILLAS.com. 2 C's, 2 L's.